Hi everyone, this is Miss Taylor, and today I'm going to talk to you about your ACT analysis report. If you think back to late January, February, before all the snow, you took a full-length ACT test. You either took it in your advisory over the course of several days with Miss Baker or Miss Battle, or you took it during class time if you are in Mr. Ross's classes currently. So the goals of taking the ACT that you did in January and February is to help us kind of see where you are in your ACT development and also to find areas that we can help you improve your ACT subscores. So today we're actually going to look at your report and talk about what you're going to do going forward with this analysis and how you're going to improve your ACT scores. Okay, at this time, teachers, please pause the video and give students their copy of their reports. And then when everyone has his or her report, please start the video again. Great. Okay, at this time, everyone should have a copy of your report, and it will look similar to the report you see here on the screen. You took this test this year, and I think it qualifies you guys as 10th graders because it's looking ahead. So if it says 10th grade, don't worry about it. What we are concerned about is making sure that your name appears in the corner of your report and that also you have this information in front of you at this time. So at the top of your report, you will see a box that looks like this that gives you the composite and sectional score based on the ACT test that you took earlier this semester. So just to refresh your memory, there are 4 sections of the ACT: English, Math, Reading, and Science. And within each of those subtests, you receive a score out of 36. And then you receive a composite score, which is kind of your overall score, a combination of the 4. And you have that one as well. And it's also out of 36. So take a minute, look at your scores. You can see where you are currently. And below the section, you will see you have a list of ways to improve each of the 4 subtests of the ACT. And we're going to talk about those in just a moment. But first, I want to remind you that in order to take the dual credit classes at Pellissippi State and get credit beginning your junior year, to actually go upstairs and take those classes with other college students, you have to meet the ACT benchmarks. Now, for Pellissippi State, you must have a 19 in reading and an 18 in English to qualify for the majority of those classes. Without those scores, Pellissippi State will not accept you as a student. So those are the bare minimum benchmarks. Now, of course, your GPA comes into consideration with that as well, but this is where we're starting today, and that's with your ACT score. So again, a 19 in reading and an 18 in English. Now, eventually they will want you to have a 21 in math to be able to take the math courses, but we have more time to worry about that. So right now we're just going to be focusing on your reading and your English scores. All right, here you have 3 sections to the report, and you'll see that this one says that these are the things you should do to improve your composite score by 1 point. Okay, and then you have a chart for improving your composite score by 3 points and then by 5 points. So our focus at this point is going to be, first of all, reading, and then English, and then math and science. And that's the order in which you will complete your work through the Analyze Ed materials that we're going to go over today. Now, we all want to improve our score as much as possible. And if you look at this report, you'll see that if I really need to improve my composite score by 1 point and I want to focus on English, this report tells me that my best bang for my buck and my time here is to study punctuation. And so you will notice too that if I want to improve my score by 3 points, punctuation is carried over, but I've also added writing to the point. Below, if I want to improve by 5 points, I have the 2 from above, punctuation, writing to the point, and then I have the additional sections that I should work on in order to improve my score by 5 composite points. Now, composite points mean I also need to work on these other areas, but again, for our purposes and gaining that 19 in reading and the 18 in English, our focus is going to be reading and English for the current time. In addition to that report, you have a few charts. At this time, we're going to look at those a little bit. And you will notice that this chart mirrors the report we just looked at. So for each of the sections of the ACT, you have a chart. So you have one for reading, one for English, one for math, and one for science. And you will see here that really it shows us that 20% of the errors in English for this particular student was in punctuation. And the E numbers is just, that's how they classify their content areas for their focus. So you don't necessarily need to worry about that right now. But you will notice that this is where the majority of the students' errors were. The top 3 sections account for the top 40% of errors in this student's English section as well. So we'll see, based on that report we just noticed, this is the area of focus for this particular student. So this is where we need to work in order to improve the score higher for the ACT subtest here in English. Also for this student, to reduce 80% of the errors in English, we need to focus on everything in this chart. So what our top focus priority is right now are the first 3 sections, depending on the order in which they're listed. And everybody's chart looks a little different. So for this student, it'd be punctuation, then writing to the point, and effective strategies. Once those 3 things have been practiced and the student has worked on those skills, the student can move on to the more advanced sections of the English test, and this will also improve their test. But this is where the majority of their focus should be for now, based on what they know, based on the test we took earlier. In a few moments, you're going to go to the online website for the materials that go with your analyzed report. The company that we're using has a login information section for us that we can go in and see our areas based on our reports. They have set this up so your areas of focus are already loaded for you. And they have also supplied us with a format that's in paper that we can actually use to help improve as well. However, school will only be in session for a few more weeks, and so we're going to start with the online content and see what the pace is that our students move at, and if we need to move to the paper format later in the semester, we will. And in a few minutes, you're going to go to this website, and I'll tell you about your login username and your password. Yours is not Fall 2014. But you can see here that when you log in, you get an improvement plan. And this improvement plan is based on the report that you have in front of you. And we'll look at that in just a minute. So your focus in improving your ACT score is going to be start on 1 point and then move to 3 point and the 5 point improvement areas that are identified by your analysis. As I stated a few minutes ago, the majority of this has been loaded online for us to use, and so we'll start there. And when you finish the online content, we'll move in to the paper format later in the semester. So let's look at what the online content looks like. This kind of gives you an overview of how to read your dashboard, and I will give you a copy of this at the end of the presentation. Your teachers will, so that you have this in hand and you have a refresher on how this works once you get into yours. But we're going to look at the website here, and you will go to this website. We'll post it again in a minute, and type in your username, which is going to be your S number without the S. So you're going to just type in your 6-digit ID number, and your password is going to be spring, as in spring semester, with a capital S, 2015. So spring 2015. And then I'm going to type in student number that has given me permission to use her account. And when I log in, you can see that this is how the dashboard is set up. So it gives me the 4 subset test of the ACT, and it already has the elements that I need to work on to improve my score. So these are my top 3 focus areas in each of the subtests. And like I said, we're going to start with reading and work our way through these, and then we'll go through English and work our way through then math and then science. And it is possible that you will finish the online component of this before school is out and need to move to the paper copies, and that's fine. And so you'll see too that in this dashboard you have a 0% to start with, and that tells you the percentage of questions attempted in this section. So in English writing to the point, 0% of the questions have been attempted by the student, which makes sense since we're just now starting. The NA beneath that means that not enough questions have been attempted to determine proficiency. So once you have answered at least 5 points, it will tell you your proficiency level in that subset. And you'll see here the proficiency indicators: below basic, basic proficient, and advanced, or NA, not enough questions have been attempted. And this looks very similar to the grading scale here in Tennessee on your EOCs. And also I know the math classes use this scale too in standards-based grading. So you'll see this on your dashboard. So the more you complete, your numbers will change, and then your proficiency can change as well. Okay, at this time, go ahead and get out your laptops. We're going to log in, make sure that everyone can get into your online content. So teachers, if you will pause the video and give everyone a moment to get to this website. Okay, the website is yercad.com/login.php. And again, your user ID is going to be at the top of your student report, and it is your student ID number. You do not need the S in your student ID number for this website. Also, your username is Spring 2015, okay, because that's the semester and the year we took the test. So Spring with capital S 2015, and that should get you into your dashboard. Once you're in your dashboard, you will see your particular content that you're going to be working on. You can also go to your name, and you can see that your score information will also be listed, so you can kind of play around with how to navigate this as well. And then today you're going to begin with reading, whatever is listed first. And every day you'll log in and you will start with reading, and you'll work your way through reading, and then through English, then through math, and through science. If you have questions about the system or your progress, you can ask your teacher, or you can stop by and see me in 1127, and I'll be happy to help. This report needs to go home to your parents. They need to have a copy of your score so that they know where you are. Mr. Milani is going to post a link to this video on our school website as well, so that parents can access this and hear the material for themselves. Parents, I would encourage you also to have your student log in with you in front of them so that you can see what their dashboard looks like and also see how they're progressing. Because ultimately our goal is for you to be able to take the classes upstairs at Pellissippi State Community College. And without these benchmarks, you can't be enrolled in Pellissippi State. So we need to improve your scores. Those of you who are already meeting those benchmarks, we want to continue to practice and improve so that when you take the ACT next year, your scores are solid, and we know without a doubt that you have met all of the benchmarks for the classes. So again, if you have any questions, please let me know. Have a great day.